As soon as she said that is all, both of them fired at the same time. After the blast rang out, it was Erika's gun that fell to the floor. Beato's red bullet had knocked Erika's gun from her hands. Was it arrogance or confidence? If she had just aimed that bullet at Erika's heart, the whole thing would have been over. Beato had missed on purpose. There was a bold smile on her face. It was as though she was offering to play with Erika a little longer. Well, that's exactly what made her Beato. Beatrice the witch who mocks others with unsolvable closed room tricks. At the time the next room over was sealed, Hideyoshi, George, Kumasawa, Shannon, and Nanjo were in it, and the number of people in the next room over was 5. No one existed there except for those to whom those 5 names refer. All people can only go by their own names. Okay. It was a thoroughly merciless red truth. It was simple and severe. Now that the number of people had been limited to 5, and leeway for Kaon hiding there had been completely denied. Also, it was now clear that only people holding those 5 names existed within the room. Erika couldn't even make a new theory by suggesting that one person held 2 names, so that the 5 names referred to only 4 people, which would let an unnamed Kanon sneak in. Furthermore, the part about how people could only use their own names was a fatal blow that cut down countless theories. Come to think of it, you've only ever met the half-sleeping me from the previous game, haven't you? What do you think, Erika? How do you like the game of the Golden Witch? It's insane, are you saying Kanon slipped out of the room by magic? Yeah, she is. More importantly, why did you just knock my gun away? The human side must crush all of the witch's riddles, whereas the witch side need only crush the human's theories once. Don't you find that unfair? So I decided to have it be even. Even? I've decided that I'll make my victory condition the destruction of all of your theories. I've won the riddle of Kanon's escape, but there's one more. Let's return to the first battleground where you gave Bella so much trouble. Just don't get too cocky. We've seen Bella get too cocky way too many times. And you paid for it. When Beatrice snapped her fingers, that guest room of Bella's was reconstructed. She meant to fight once more in the room that had threatened Bella with a logic error, determined to settle things once and for all. Erika, pick up your gun. We'll have this room be your coffin. I say the same to you. I make you regret ever giving me this chance. Witness, allow Erika to use X. X? You mean a basis that doesn't need to be explained? What are you gonna let her do? Let's give Erika permission to use Blue Truth for Kanon and this guest room trick, without making her explain how he escaped from his closed room. A theory explaining how Kanon saved Bella would also need to explain how Kanon escaped from his own closed room, or it would have no basis. Erika had already lost that basis. Beato was giving her a handicap by saying that she didn't need to explain that part. Of course. You've already used the red truth to guarantee that Kanon saved Bella. It's only natural that I be given this privilege. Erika faced away again and concentrated even harder. As though twisting the knob on the radio, she turned all noise and idle thoughts down to 0. Let's go, Furoro Erika. Detective Furoro Erika. As long as Kanon reaches this place, rescuing Battler isn't hard. The trick is as follows. Kanon used some kind of escape trick X to reach the front of the guest room. While I was busy in the bathroom, Battler left the closet. Battler undid the chain lock. Battler went outside. Kanon entered in his place. Kanon set the chain lock. Kanon went into the closet. The end. This satisfies the true red truth about the chain lock being set in Battler's absence. And in exchange for this escape trick, Kanon remains inside the guest room. There's no room for argument on how tightly this room can act as a closed room. That chain is cursed. In this demonic closed room, one person must remain as a sacrifice for it to be acceptable. However, is such a simple theory really enough? The rescuer switched places with her. Then the rescuer hid in the closet. No other sort of theory is possible, and yet Beato thinks she can win. In that case, does some other trick exist? My nose won't stop itching. Stop, nose. It's impossible. I swear on the history of the mystery genre that there's absolutely, definitely, categorically no other way. But if I give in here, I couldn't call myself a detective. Consider it, imagine, don't stop thinking. That's how you drive blue wedges into witches. What I can expect to see is, yes, a wordplay trick. It can only be some kind of wordplay that just barely slips through the net of words spoken and read. In that case, I'll crush all possibilities. I'll have them repeat line after line. This final duel has already begun, even though we haven't pulled our triggers yet. Repeat it. At the time Battler was rescued, only Kanon entered the guest room. I acknowledge it. At the time Battler was rescued, only Kanon entered the guest room. I believe that was the whole point. Repeat it. From the time I entered the room to the time of the logic era, Battler, Kanon, and I were the only ones who entered or exited the room. I acknowledge it. From the time you entered the room to the time of the logic era, you, Battler, and Kanon are the only ones who went in and out of the guest room. Repeat it. This refers to the 3 people. I acknowledge it. It refers to the 3 people, you, Battler, and Kanon. Confirming definition. Can I assume that when you say 3 people, that's equal to the number of bodies? You're saying 3 bodies went in or out of the room, right? I've had enough of things being mixed about with names and numbers of people. I want this point to be clear. Pretty cool music again. Of course, 3 people, in other words, 3 bodies went in or out. Only you and Kanon entered, and only Battler left. It has already been said and read that all people can only use their own names. Therefore, the names Erika, Battler, and Kanon can only be used by those people. Repeat it. I am not the rescuer. Of course, you are the detective, are you not? Don't worry, I will respect that. Confirming definition. How do you define rescuer? How can she be the detective now, though, when before this she claimed she murdered everybody else and lost her detective privilege? This is also important. I want to quickly remove the possibility that I rescued him accidentally. I'll define rescuer to mean any person who reset the chain lock after Battler unset it. This definition applies whether said person intended to rescue Battler or not. Since she said after Battler unset the chain lock, it's impossible for this to have occurred before I set foot in the room. From that point on, I wouldn't undo the chain again for all eternity. After all, the game was suspended at that point. Therefore, it was impossible for me to have been the rescuer accidentally. More. I can focus even more. I now understand why Kanon earlier meant he would be there forever, at least at that point, because the game was suspended. The chain can only be set from the inside. It's impossible for a person to escape on their own. Therefore, we know that Battler didn't escape by himself. And I'm not the rescuer. Only Kanon can be the rescuer, and Beato has already said that Kanon is the rescuer with the red truth. There's nothing to doubt. There's no room for anyone but Kanon to be involved, at least so far. Repeat it. Going in or out refers to when someone crosses the boundary between the guest room and the area outside it. She's being very cautious now. I acknowledge it. Repeat it. By the guest room, we're referring to the entirety of the bedroom, the bathroom, and the closet. I acknowledge it. I've no intention of wriggling out of this by saying the closet isn't part of the guest room. Confirming definition. The inside of the guest room is divided into 3 sections, the bedroom, the bathroom, and the closet. I also recognize it as such. Furthermore, you have already confirmed with the red truth that 2 of those sections, the bedroom and the bathroom, had no one hiding in them. Repeat it. There is someone in the closet. I refuse. Why is that? Because Kanon is hiding there? Kanon can use magic. It's true that he hid himself in the closet for a time, but he then immediately vanished with his magic. So there's no one in the closet. I cannot respond. I ask you to repeat it once more. Fool. The witch site has no obligation to explain how they did things with magic. No, it's completely obvious. There's no way she can say that Kanon disappeared with magic using the red truth. After all, magic doesn't exist. But is this enough? I've gone through every last minor detail, and yet there's an uncanny lack of dubious points. I can't think of any way around the theory I've had since the beginning. Kanon must be in the closet. He has to be. There's no way he isn't. I'll say it again. This closed room can only be... Sorry. Okay. Escape from by switching places with a rescuer. Fucking knows. If Kanon tried to escape as well, another rescuer would be needed. However, no rescuer exists for Kanon. Battler escaped, so it's impossible for it to be him, and I won't undo the chain for all eternity. The people who have gone in and out of the room have been confirmed both by name and number of people. At this rate, my theory is set in stone. First, here are the details of the situation that are certain. The game ended while I was inside the guest room. I did not undo the chain lock that I had previously set, so it can't be that he escaped after I left the room. So yeah, this is kind of like where the whole game is currently paused at. And like Kanon moving was before this. That's why it was so fine that he moved over there and rescued Bella, because that was still before it paused at this point. When it happened, I thought it was afterwards, but I mean, it's kind of like the time is a bit fuzzy here, and like in the meta world, it can be before or after in a way, but within the game board, it was before everything was paused. If that makes sense to you. It's hard to explain it, but I think I understand. So it can't be that he escaped after I left the room. Anyone with another action, so I did not do the chain lock that I previously said. It can't be that he escaped after I left the room. Furthermore, the chain lock was set at the same time I entered the room. No one could have left the room during the few seconds between the time I entered and the time I set the chain lock. The guest room was sealed at the time Bella's corpse was examined, so until I came again and broke the seals, it was absolutely impossible for anyone to go in or out. Therefore, when I entered the room, it is certain that Bella was hiding somewhere inside the guest room. The only chance Bella had to escape was after I broke the seals. To be even more specific, he had no chance to escape except for the time I was in the bathroom. By the above premises, Bella's trick to escape with a chain still set is as follows. Because of the aforementioned reasons, the only one who could have set the chain lock, which can only be set from the inside and allowed Bella's escape, is Kanon, the only person to enter the room except for me and Bettler. After Kanon entered the room, he set the chain, hid in the one place that he could hide inside the guest room, the closet. Whoa, that was close. They almost got me. They almost tricked me. Huh? What did she notice? I thought I'd cornered him in the closet. It's the opposite. They're trying to make me think he's in the closet. What was the order in which I searched the guest room? First the bedroom. We confirmed with the red that there was nothing there. Then the bathroom. We confirmed with the red that there was nothing there. That's it right there. When I examined the bedroom, there was nothing there. However, while I was investigating the bathroom, Kanon slipped out of the closet and hid again somewhere in the bedroom. In other words, my guarantee that no one was in the bedroom was torn apart during a span of 1 minute. I've spotted it. This is the witch's trap, an attempt to lure me into thinking that Kanon is in the closet. The place he is really hiding is the bedroom. But is he? Huh. I found it. I found it. Your trick. Ugh. That was a close one. If I'd been one step slower, I'd have said there was no way to hide except inside the closet, and then she'd just say that the closet was empty. Huh? No, wait. It works the same way in reverse. I see, now I get it. It's a logic switching trick. Damn that Beato, so in resolving the logic error, she's discovered the strange trick. If I only noticed the closet, she'll have Kanon hide under the bed, and if I only noticed the bed, she'll have Kanon hide in the closet. Even though either one would be right, I'd lose no matter which I chose. Unless I expose both at the same time, I can't checkmate her. Incredible. I've never heard of such an unfair trick. If it was a sleight of hand, it'd just be a cheap one. If it was a mystery, it'd just be cheating. However, in this witch's game, it's a legitimate logic trick. In chess, it'd be called a double check. No, a discovered attack. Oh wait, would it be a discovered double checkmate? Even though this sort of logic would be a foul trick in the mystery genre, in this world where witches and mystery war, it is such a refined board layout. The beautiful placement of the black pieces that cornered my white king felt almost like an art, so beautiful that if I were a god in some old legend, I might wish to stick it in the sky as a constellation. That beauty even brought tears to my eyes. For the first time I felt honored at being allowed to participate in this game of truth and witches as a human, and ironically, it taught me, the one who had always believed in a single truth, that there isn't necessarily just one truth. If I just broaden my perspective, I can see completely different truth. And though each of those truths are truth, they're incomplete if they're all you can see. In my life until now, just how many truths have I missed because I was blinded by some trivial truth? This is the true nature of the world. Because of our arrogance and thinking that only one truth exists, whenever we find one truth, we get blinded to all others. Thank you, Beatrice, son. I've never thought that I would learn the true nature of this world from a witch. Slowly, with a soft and quiet gesture like a flower opening with the morning dew dripping down its side, Erika raised her gun. It's my victory. I've seen through your double check. Then come. Battler's guest room disappearance trick is as follows. While I searched the room, Battler was hiding in the closet. Then during the disturbance in the bathroom, he unset the chain and escaped from the room. At that time, Kanon was waiting for him in the hallway. Kanon entered the guest room in his place and set the chain. This is the trick to Butler's disappearance. And afterwards, he hid in the bedroom. This happened after I checked to see that there was no one unexpected in the bedroom, so it's valid. In this way, Kanon the rescuer concealed himself in the bedroom. Eric's blue bullet flew in a strange arc, became a wedge of the blue truth, and pierced straight down through the bed and the floor beneath. Beato didn't pull her trigger, however she did quietly argue back with the red truth. Kanon does not exist in the bedroom. The goat attendants gasped. Erika had apparently been defeated, denied by the red truth. For the goats who couldn't see more than a single truth, it probably looks as though I've lost. Next up is the real one. This is the answer from a human capable of understanding multiple truths. It looks like the tale of illusions will end on the second twilight, so why don't I carry out the remaining twilights and open the door to the Golden Land? If you are to disappear, then it should be surrounded by your golden roses. The fires of blue truth flashed at Erika's feet, and she loaded a blue truth bullet once more. That overflowing blue power was now making her entire gun burn with a blue flame. She wasn't aiming for Beato, she was aiming behind Beato, at the closet. Now that the bedroom has been denied, you've nowhere left to run. Die, Kanon! I bet he isn't in there either. The 5 wedges of blue truth she released shot right past Beato's cheeks, hair, and shoulders, then pin-cushioned the door to the closet to gouge whatever human was inside dead. The 5 wedges slammed through the door in a vertical line. In other words, on the 4th twilight, gouge the head and kill. On the 5th twilight, gouge the chest and kill. On the 6th twilight, on the 7th twilight, on the 8th twilight, gouge and kill and kill and kill. After being gouged by so many thick and sharp wedges, the human inside wouldn't stand a chance. Here's the truth I've exposed, that is all. When she proclaimed that she had finished, the 5 blue wedges piercing the closet disappeared. However, the many large splintered holes left behind showed that it had indeed been pierced. Then, as though this completed the ceremony that led to the Golden Land, the room that had been created around them became countless golden flower petals and drifted away. By now the duelists and the crowd of attendants were surrounded by the golden rose garden of the Golden Land. However, the closet behind Beato remained. It stood there all by itself like a coffin. Then, as though teased open by a dreary wind, the hole-covered closet door slowly opened. Oh. Inside was a human figure. That figure was covered up to the head by what appeared to be a grayish robe. Of course, that also had large holes, showing that it had been stabbed into. Eventually, it became clear that this was not a robe, but a raincoat. If he had rushed here from the guest house, then there would be nothing strange about him wearing this into the guest room. Then, with a rustle, the raincoat lost its human shape, crumpled, became a cloud of little butterflies, and disappeared. What the? Inside the coffin of the closet, nothing remained except an empty darkness. Kanon does not exist in the guest room. Of course, this includes all parts of the closet, the bedroom, and the bathroom. Kanon let Bettler escape and hid in the closet. Then he used magic to disappear. This is the witch's truth. That is all. This fight is over. Say no more. And the winner is Beatrice! Fuck yeah. The attendants let out a cheer. Virgilia's group couldn't help but scream and shout in joy. The 7 sisters jumped about in celebration. Then at the same moment, the 2 demons proclaimed Beatrice's victory. They had the ring worn by Erika, who was slowly crumpling. to the ground, and the cursed ring on Battler's finger both burst. At the same time, Battler coughed violently. Battler was starting to regain consciousness. Battler! Battler-san! Beato latched onto the coughing Battler in joy. Then Virgilia, Gab, and Renov did the same. All of the 7 sisters also crowded about him in delight. What a nasty trick. Are you sure something like this will count? With a trick like this one, those humans will start complaining again about how this is no mystery. No, it was a splendid trick. People without love cannot see it. Battler-san. Battler-san. Ah. Lady Erica, someone help her, quickly. The rose of blood in Erica's chest would stop opening its petals. It's a nice way of saying that. Third-degree conceptual denial syndrome. Use of continuous neutralizer impossible. Neutralization only possible by an emergency approval for resurrection. The piece's master must provide approval for resurrection. Lady Bancastle, give your approval for her resurrection. Lady Bancastle, where did she go? Search request to ceremony guards. Find Lady Bancastle. She's probably drunk. Understood. All cheesters, data link, search format. How cowardly to think that someone's master wouldn't watch her pieces duel until the end. Know that it is far too cowardly. Erica, who was being held by Blanner, had already realized that her master was nowhere to be seen. But she didn't feel lonely. On the contrary, she was relieved that she wouldn't need to be brutally scolded in the last moments of her life. Gods and demons, please pass on the story of her noble passing. Noble? The bad guy is supposed to die pathetically and make the main character look awesome. I'm not anyone's piece anymore. I can finally control my own role. Lady Erica, you mustn't move. Stand back. Stay back. When Erica yelled with all her soul, those who surrounded her were forced back and fell on their butts. Yeah, I could see Byrne doing that. I am the Witch of Truth, forever Erica. The Witch of Truth is the witch who can withstand the truth. Now I can finally accept the real truth about myself. The toxin of her own concept being denied raced through her. Her vision was already starting to blur. At the other end of her twisted range of vision were Battler and Beato hugging each other and looking at her. Their expressions are firm. That's okay. Pity and sympathy would only make me look more pathetic. For a loser, that sort of expression is the best. Lady Erica, the duel is already over. It isn't. Not until this pair is separated by death. We won't let anyone disgrace her final moments. The 2 demons grabbed Lena's shoulders and held her back. Dripping blood, breathing heavily, and with an awkward gait, Erica walked towards Beato and Battler despite it all. As the blood dripped from her, it became golden flower petals which drifted away, so as she walked, she looked both divine and beautiful. The duel wouldn't end until one of them died, so even though it had been settled, it hadn't ended. Beato and Battler told the people bunched around them to step back, and they both walked forward to face the noble loser. Erica, congratulations on your resurrection. Looks like you have bad luck with women. You'll never get a decent one to like you. True, and I'd never fall in love with a decent woman. Beato, no, I asked this of both of you. You wish for one final clash? Erica, very well. We are not so boorish as to refuse your noble request. Thank you. As her consciousness began to waver, Erica raised her gun again. She pointed it at the 2 of them. Beato also raised her gun to point at Erica. Then Battler placed his hand on hers. If it's already resolved, what more could there be to argue about? Erica-sama. Why, is there nothing I can do at a time like this? Watch until the end. That's your job as her friend, isn't it? Both sides silently loaded their bullets of truth without saying a word. The caliber packed into each barrel was red, so though neither side spoke, did they both know what trump card the other would use? Now, at the end, I'd like to finally introduce myself. What's she saying this late into the game? No one could imagine the red truth Erica had loaded. Beato, are you sure? Yes, I don't mind. I understand. Let's at least pull the final trigger together. I know. Bettler placed his hand on top of the finger that Beato had around the trigger. Bettler-san, I'm glad I met you. We will be together for all eternity. You just had to flirt right in front of me. It's pissing me off. You know, I really can't stand teary farewell scenes. Yes, the bad guy really does need to wear this face at the very end. That's a nice look. Married life with you would probably have been fun enough to make me vomit. Of course. I'd spin you around every day, locked up in a world of pleasure that would make you forget Beard-san in a second. It's 1,000 years too early for you to capture Bettler's heart, little girl. You've never looked cuter than you do now. I guess both of us really need to finish it. Shouldn't do that. Come. This is Detective Fururo Erika's final parting line, yo, and self-introduction. Yo, Erika spun in the magnificent... Okay, I should really stop this. Erika spun in a magnificent and graceful rondo. Big rap battles mystery. Erika versus Beatrice. Scattering blood and golden flower petals around her as she raised her gun. Hi, pleased to meet you. I'm Fururo Erika the detective. I may be an uninvited guest, but please welcome me. I'm the visitor, the 18th human on Lopkinjima. Sorry, but even if you do join us, that makes 17 humans. I'm sorry, what? Okay. I'm telling you, I was right. Shannon and Kanon are both the same person. And George was in love with a cross-dressing Kanon all the time. Oh no, Hachizo Toya is in there. Photo. Oh no, I was too slow again. Well, not that much. Well, shit. We finished episode 6. Getting closer to the end now, huh? I started... how could you not, though, with that beat starting? The beat starting right when she started to introduce herself? Like, how could you not combine that? She will never beat fresh Dumbledore. Okay. I was thinking of not doing a stream as long as usual today, but I am really tempted to start this now. Is it a long one? I mean, it's kind of a... It's not long, okay. We'll do this one. I mean, on the other hand, this is a nice cliffhanger-ish spot and stuff. And I do want to read on now. They let the pair exchange their rings. Beato took Bettler's hand and put a ring with the seal of the one-winged eagle on his finger. Are you sure? You already are the territory lord, so this ring belongs to you, Bettler-san. You're really sure? At this rate, the world you created and the tale Yes, I created this tale because I wish to be with you. That means the purpose of this world has been fulfilled, so from now on I want you to write it. The continuing tale of you and me. Oh, is doing it like that too awkward for you? I'm just pushing the tiresome task of territorial lord onto you anyway. It's much easier being the wife where you only have to brag. I just need to play around and wait for you to write a new tale. And for each new tale you write, I'll play any part you need, be it an evil witch or a rival, a lover or a wife. My tales are pretty intense. You'll be busy from dawn until dusk. Indeed, bring it on. Beatrice's hand relinquished the ring of the territorial lord. From Bettler she received a silver ring with a crest that could only be worn by the wife of the territorial lord. Where did they get the ring back from, though? Didn't it shatter? Whatever, I guess some demon could just make a new one. They exchanged their rings and their wedding was complete. Well, sucks for you, Kenzo. We did what you couldn't. Then the pair turned around, faced the packed crowd of guests, and raised their rings high. A thunderous applause rang out for them. As a memorial to this night's events, the great territorial lord will now recognize the accomplishments of certain people. Let those called come forward. At Bettler's nod, Beata read the name of the first guests to be recognized. Kanon, come forward. Kanon-kun? The girl goat pushed her way through the crowd, took off her mask, and yelled. A cloud of gold butterflies gathered before Bettler and Beato and took the form of Kanon, kneeling in front of these two nobles. Kanon had already died and vanished. However, all of the dead revive in the Golden Land. Kanon, right here. When my husband was locked up and in danger, we rescued him and displayed your capability for self-sacrifice by choosing to remain in an eternal prison in his place. Such devotion is deserving of an award. Therefore, we will allow for your resurrection as well as your continued service. Yes, ma'am. I am honored and delighted. Kanon-kun, Yoshia-kun! Yoshia-kun! Jessica raced forward and landed sobbing in Kanon's chest. Kanon patted her head gently and held her. You won't be serving as furniture. You'll be serving as a human. Do you understand what that means? Yes. After glancing at Jessica sobbing, he looked at Bettler again and nodded forcefully. Oh, I guess he said yes. Would make more sense. Why would Jessica say yes? Now for the next pair. Pursuit George and Shannon. Come forward. Yes. George and Shannon were the next to be called. Perhaps they had already readied themselves. They walked forward boldly and kneeled. George right here. Shannon right here. You two withstood Zippa and flew for his trials until the very end. Your great achievements and affection, determination and nobility were exemplary and deserving of an award. Therefore, your marriage certificate has been issued with the territorial lord's signature. We are honored and delighted. No one will be allowed to object to this certificate. Let the families of those recognized bless their union with all their hearts. Oh, my nose is... You know... Do you know this when this happens? Sometimes I know I'm not the only one. Sometimes your nose starts itching and it just won't fucking stop. But if you see me doing this all the time, it's because it's itching. Maybe some allergic reaction. And so, now that there's nothing stopping these two, let's all throw rice at them and celebrate. Hey, congrats, you two. When the territorial lord clapped his hands in celebration, it spread throughout the entire cathedral. Then a group of goats in the front line of the crowd took their masks off one by one. Listen up, okay? I'll never forgive you if you make too much salty miso soup. And George is getting a little overweight, so go easy on the show. Where the hell is George a little overweight? George, when a man gets married, he's got to treasure his wife even more than his parents. No matter what your mother says, you make sure you protect Shannon Sean. Yes, of course. George, son. Anyway, George needs to be asleep by 7. I'll never forgive you if you let him stay up late. And don't forget that washing his back and cleaning his areas are also a wife's responsibilities. For Japanese standards, I guess, yeah. Is that true? What have I done? A wife's job can vary depending on the family. Udo-san, have you been treasuring your wife? Of course. Why would you doubt that? Find happiness, you two. Marriage isn't the goal. It's just the starting line, okay? Congratulations, congratulations!
Adieu, congratulations.
We mustn't lose either. Yeah, no way we're losing, damn it. All of the Ushidomiya family, all of the servants, and all of the spirits and demons in attendance celebrated the honorees with an even greater applause. And so the curtain closes on the tale woven by the Golden Witch. Perhaps we should finish this tale with the epitaph. Oh, come on, keep that epitaph away from me, it's just teasing me again. The following is the passage of the Golden Land from the epitaph of the Golden Witch. The witch shall praise the wise and bestow 4 treasures. One shall be all the gold from the Golden Land. One shall be the resurrection of all the dead souls. One shall be the resurrection of the love that was lost. One shall be to put the witch to sleep for all time. Hold on. That's not good. Sleep peacefully, my beloved witch, Beatrice. So this means Beata was satisfied and put to sleep? That interpretation is probably appropriate. And, now that the game is over, Onichan will be released, right? What will he do next? Who knows? The book of this fragment tells no more of the story. So in the end, we don't even get to see what comes next for him. Nothing comes next for him. In the end, Onichan and the others never came back. They reached the Golden Land and had a great time together there. Even if the tale tells us that, the truth is that everyone died in that huge accident. Still, we've learned a lot of very interesting things. It seems that island really was a crazy island of illusions. Indeed, and your reading was truly wonderful. I feel worn out like watching a 6-hour movie all at once. I'm tired. Ushidomiya Angie, you truly have worked hard. Your reading has soothed my boredom. I, Featherine, am more grateful to you than I have been for so many years that I cannot remember. If you're grateful, why can't I have some kind of reward too? What would be good? Give me some time. I will think. Featherine sat down in her rocking chair and rocked it, apparently trying to think of something. Ushidomiya Angie, you really have worked hard. You have done well to keep reading for me until the end. With this, your responsibilities as my Miko are lifted. You may return to your original world and be reunited with the fate you have been given. Jeez, feels like this was one hell of a side trip. Here, take this M&M I didn't finish. Thanks. Do not pout. I am thinking of a reward now. Yes, that's something I haven't done much, or rather at all, for quite some time. I imagine the ink from the bottle has dried up by now. Even after the tale ended, Angie and Hachijo's debate over it continued for quite some time. It had been very serious and fiery. Angie had acknowledged that this tale was no crazy literary work, but a new message bottle which had drifted here once more from the Rock Kanjima of 12 years previous, to tell her of one truth, and it seemed as though she had found her own interpretation of the truth she thought the tale was trying to tell. Of course, that was only one truth, and it did not mean an end to her journey. However, maybe it can be viewed this way. It wasn't sufficient to fill the 12-year gap in her heart. However, at that moment, just enjoying the feeling along with the bitter coffee Hachijo had made was enough. Thank you for reading until the end, and thank you for your thoughts and opinions. I'm sure the very first Endless Witch is happy. Wow, so you can bring yourself to say stuff like that. If you just talk like that from the beginning, you'd have tons more fans. I am merely praising the wonderful reader that you most certainly are. I just wanted to say that spending the time I have left in my life writing for you alone was much more productive than writing for those pigs who do not talk and cannot think would have been. That's just the kind of thing you'd be better off not saying. Well, I'll take it as a compliment. Would have been, okay. I'll take it as a compliment, okay. I get the feeling that I've spent a really long time here. It feels as though I've spent a major fraction of my life here. Though it should feel uncomfortable sitting here on a sofa in someone else's house, for some strange reason it feels as familiar as my own home. However, the clock says it's only been about 2 or 3 hours since I met her. My sense of time feels very strange. Your friend seems to be taking his time. It mustn't be a long phone call. It's creepy for a guy to talk that long on the phone. He said he was going to make a scheduled report to Okonogi-san, didn't he? Even though he was told that he could use the phone here, he declined and went to look for a public phone somewhere. That's fishy. Something about how he didn't want to risk being bugged. He's a moron, so I'll let him do what he wants. Is the nearest public phone far? If you go out onto the street, there's a store on the corner a short ways down. Then I'll be on my way. You can use this to pay for food or whatever. If I let you keep that money, will you come again, read my next manuscript, and tell me your opinions? You're willing to pay rolls of money to get an uncute girl like me to read your manuscript? No, you really were a good, clear-thinking reader. We create these tales and throw them out into the world in search of people like you. You praise me too much. I just take books a little too seriously. As thanks for the considerable time you have given to me, I will someday write your tale. Am I going to appear in one of your forgeries again? I hope you kill me in a slightly better way this time. Do you like miracles? You mean like a Deus Ex Machina plot development? I used to hate them, but recently I've become a big fan. Still, I've become a bit of a picky eater, and simply falling from a skyscraper and ending up unharmed doesn't quite qualify as a miracle to me anymore. Then perhaps one day I will write a tale that you will consider a miracle. I'm really sorry for barging in all of a sudden and saying all kinds of mean things. No, it was a worthwhile conversation. I wonder if my head editor will set up another meeting between the two of us. Sure, if there's another chance for one. See you again. Have a nice day. Yes, it may happen again sometime. I pray that you find your truth. Thank you. If you ever do reach a truth of your own, please try making that a tale as well someday. You want me to become one of your witches? I wonder. I'm bad at writing. A good reader isn't necessarily a good writer, you know. Ah, quite true. I myself can never read anything written by anyone else. Sheesh, then I'm off. After this I will probably never see you again, but I pray I will be fortunate enough to meet another you someday, somewhere. Can I ask one last question? Go ahead. That featherine witch who appeared within the tale, that's you, right? It may be presumptuous to say it, but that was my intention. This might be a strange question, but are you Featherine? Or is Featherine you? Well now, what might you be talking about? That mysterious woman was mysterious to the last, and so the day of which I had no memories ended, and on the following day I would take a boat to Niijima. I'll probably never meet her again. However, that just means that I won't meet her, so some other me might meet her somewhere down the road. Just as I have reached several truths, they must also want to reach the truth. So long, Featherine. If you ever write a decent story, please call me again. If I'm free, I might drop by. No problem. It's the most luxurious escort job I've had yet. I'd almost like to invite you along, sir. I'll take a pass on that. You know how old I am. I'm done running around all over the place. The person on the other end of the line was Okonogi. I have no idea what voice I gave him. I think I made him a complete idiot at first, but then I changed it. Okonogi was also a man who tended to move from place to place, so it hadn't been easy to catch him even on the phone. Our trip's been pretty cool, and right now there's no need to turn around. Sumadera Kasumi is searching for you like mad. According to our informants, she's already gotten a ride to Rokkanjima. You'll bump into her there. So this is before they went to Rokkanjima. I mean, it makes sense, she just said this is before she went to Niijima. And for some reason, then doesn't remember it anymore. Meeting Hachijo, I mean. So just as planned. It'd likely be just 5 or 6 people at most, and they'll probably be armed with nothing more than handguns. They're no match for you. Feel free to run wild. But make sure you kill them. I guess this is Okonogi. Were you able to acquire one of your favorite toys? Of course, I'm surprised you managed to arrange for it in this country. Behind Amakusa was the rental car that they'd borrowed under a false name, inside of which was now a black golf bag. The Sumadera head family has already given the okay, but make sure you get out of Japan as soon as you're done. Don't forget to buy your cup ramen by the box in Narita before your flight out. I take care this time. It's an easy job. So the Sumadera head family basically is behind, you know when What was her name? Kasumi? Yeah, Kasumi. When Kasumi and her bodyguards or whatever are killed by magic at the end of episode 4, I'm pretty sure that was actually Amakusa sniping them. And I think this here, just here, means that actually the Sumadera head family ordered sniping Kasumi. Why ever they would do that, I don't know. I mean, she was not very pleasant. Or maybe I'm completely misunderstanding this. Also, you do understand about that, right? That? Well, I'm not sure what you mean. Playing dumb, are we? Well, it's okay. Despite how you talk, you've never betrayed my expectations in the past. If you're clever about it, you won't even have to get your hands dirty. There should be plenty of ways to handle it. What, killing Angie? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I realized that Angie-chan is a child to be pitied. If only she could have stayed true to that and acted the part of a secluded young lady. When we decided to join forces after Eva-san's death, we reached an agreement. This little portable shrine of ours is important, but she's also a liability. This is for the sake of world peace as well, okay? So, watch and see how it goes. I hope those Sumadera black suits know how to shoot a gun right. What is it, sir? Don't tell me that after a few days on the run... Don't tell me that after a few days on the run, you and Angie-chan have already hooked up. Huh? Me and that bratty little girl? Please. Well, it's not like I care. It just means you finally managed to break free enough that you can take passes at girls, right? Half of the world is made up of women. You'll never last if just one or two of them make you freeze up. Oh, speak of the devil, she's here. Guess that's all for today. I'll contact you after I reach our lodgings on Nijima. Later. Angie was walking down the street. Why did she have to do that when I told her to wait for me to come back? If only she wasn't like this, she might have lived a long life. That was a pretty long call. I was so tired of waiting that I left. Sorry about that. How was it for you, lady? Did you learn anything interesting? It was interesting. I've harvested all I need. Sounds cool. After Amakusa opened the passenger's side door, Angie got in the car. Amakusa quickly went around to the driver's seat. Then let's head to the harbor. According to the old man, the Sumadera family has set up a net. If we do get caught, then that's the measure of my luck. If we don't, then Rokkenjima is waiting for me. Let's leave it all to luck. Luck, is it? When you can't decide what to do, or when it doesn't matter either way, it's not so bad to entrust your fate to a coin toss. Huh. Then I guess I'll try leaving it to luck too. I've got to admit, I'm a fan of that kind of thing. Great, my bodyguard just said he's gonna leave everything to luck. Wonderful. I had to leave for that phone call, so I totally missed the clincher. What happened after I left? Let's hear it. No, I'm not telling. That's a shame. The car dashed through the hilly town. That car wouldn't return to Hachijo's house for all eternity. However, Angie didn't get sentimental about it. For now, she just wanted to silently consider the new message bottle that the current endless witch, Hachijo Toya, had given her. In the rear view mirror, the town where a witch lived faded off into the distance. However, that scene wasn't reflected in Angie's eyes. That's a sudden end. Well then, that will be it for today though. So I will stop here.